library automation is a bigger concept, and housekeeping is part of that. So all connectivity, all act in automation in library, all together we can call library automations. And within library automation, housekeeping operation is one of the part. Let's start with the majority of the automational work normally used in the housekeeping operations in library. Now, in this particular unit, we're going to learn these are the concepts. Overview of library housekeeping operation: acquisition, processing, circulation, serial control, maintenance, historical perspective of library automation, procedural model of library housekeeping operation, procedure and activities, analysis of task, computerized acquisition subsystem, output report of computerized acquisition job, computerized cataloging subsystem, basic requirement for catalog model, computerized catalog job, basic job in cataloging, then computerized serial control system subsystem, creation and maintenance of master database, subscription and acquisition, circulation and binding, cataloging and article indexing, information product, advantage of computer serial control subsystem, computerized circulation subsystem, functions of circulation subsystem, activities of circulation management, output of computerized circulation jobs, advantages of computerized circulation subsystem. So these are the components in your chapter, in your unit. Now, if you talk about the basic housekeeping operations, so the most important aspect in any automation is that we have already discussed that if your manual work is perfect, then one can think of application of automation. Otherwise, what happens if there is any lacuna in the manual work, if you put automations over there, so the glitches will increase. So better to rectify or streamline the manual process, then we can add on the automation. Automation itself is a value addition in the basic job. It's nothing new. Only it will give some speed and give some accuracy. That's the only reason. But basic philosophy of job, of service will be the same. Here, in this lecture, what we are doing, we're continuing the basic concept of teaching, but we're using this technology. We are using the internet, we're using the networking system, and we are using Google Meet, and we're using PPT, we're using this computer, laptop, but the basic goal is teaching. If I am not perfect in teaching, I cannot do with this device also. So that's world should know that where automation is required. When manual work is perfect, then automations can be merged. Now, when we are going to automate our acquisition system, we are processing, we are circulation, we are serial control and maintenance. What happened in acquisitions? Normally, book data is coming and we take it. It has its own process. Request come for a particular document title. We processed it through the library committee. We approved it. We give order to the vendor. We receive it. We process it. Process means we're doing cataloging on that, classification on that. Then we are doing cataloging on that. Then we are pasting different stickers on that. Then we are pasting also RFID or the barcode or NFC tag, anything which your library is. Then we make it. It's a that's owned by that particular library. Then we again give back, send to the circulation. What circulation usually do? Circulation is nothing. It has transacted the book for the loan. It received it, check in, check out. Everything is done in the circulation system. Besides this, there are features you can adopt it. Sometimes it was manually also happen. Suppose in your library, you are doing circulation manually. One person came to your library and asking for that, okay, sir, ma'am, I require that book. If when this particular book will be returned, because I am not able to find it, it must be issued. So that book, when that book will return back by the other user, please reserve it for me. So that process, we're just doing in circulation. We can reserve it on the basis of the user feedback in the OPAC. They can reserve it through OPAC. Then we have a serial control. In serial control, we can approve the title, we can process the title, we can take list of, we can make schedule of different serials, journals. In serials, it could be journal, it could be newspaper, it could be a magazine. So we can create a schedule on that. We can process it. Sometimes in serials publication, sometimes we will find one particular issue has missed. So we can inquire on that, and we can ask for the giving another. So these to the vendors. So these are the things, the normal process in the serial controlling system. But at the end of the year in serial control, what happened? We usually send for the binding. Then maintenance. Maintenance, it's a very important aspect. So in that department, we can also create library, a computer application on that. So these are the basic concepts which will go one by one in our automation system. Now, this is library housekeeping, what we are normally often doing. In acquisition, you have seen select, order, receive, accession. In processing, classify, catalog, label, sell. In use, locate, list, lane, reserve, recall, interlibrary, loan. Basically, it's a use. That means it's almost a circulation. Then it's a maintenance, bind, replace, and discard. Bind is important. We usually replace, withdrawal of books, and discard. So every library and the government has a facility that in a certain situations when you find the books are not being used, so we have withdrawn facilities from your stock. So that can be weed out, basically it's called. So these are the aspects in the normal applications, housekeeping operation of library. And this is a library. If you look at the total library concept in your book, I have seen the system, subsystem, operational subsystem, under acquisition, processing, use, maintenance, and procedures. These are the same. Already we have seen it. Now here, common to all procedures: initiate to commerce, produce, authorize to approve a producers, active to maintenance producer through appropriate action, record to record what action been taken, report to notify staff or user about the action taken, cancel to stop procedure for undergoing an action. So these are the concepts. Now, here you can see in 1960s, library broadcasting system. In library broadcasting system, first time in the history of library science, you will find in 1960s, people used library broadcasting system. Many libraries has, this is British Council Library, this is Kearsarge Library. So there, people are used to broadcast. So you are from almost 63, 62, here or 64, you will find this kind of applications in the library there. So from that time, you are using that technology for it's a kind of value additions with the modern technology, electronics technology. Now coming to the library modernization automation timelines, if you see, in 1960s, you have started photocopier machines in the library. Why you required photocopier machines in the library? Because it's a huge demand of the book. Huge demand of the books by the users. And suppose you have one book and you need to you need to cater many people on that particular that particular reason. What you are doing, you are photocopying the things and sending to the users. So you used in this almost in 1960s. In 1970s, you started using the telephone for receiving reference call or answering kind of information service to the people. So you have started with so many concepts in the library. You started using telephone hotline. You have started using photocopier machines, and in 1960s you will see in 357 it's the family computer, means personal computer, is started by the IBM, and the library started taking this particular computer for their automation. Even I will tell you, we have also used this kind of computer in 90s in India. Now coming 1960s, you will see the computerized circulation system. The manual system has closed. So this is, now you can understand, 1960s in Western countries, people started the automatic system, auto circulation system, right? 1970s, bibliographical retrieval system started, where we can take data, we can take data, we can retrieve data through the computer, which was who never thought about that. Because I will tell you the interesting thing: the computer being used in the library almost that time, 1960s and 70s. But those people has used that computer into the library who are very much, the librarians are very much powerful person in the society, in the institute. That's why they're able to manage this computer to the library. And that kind of attitude is always important for the automations of library. You need to convince everybody that we need to have computer into the library. So here in 1970s, you will see the bibliographic retrieval system. Now, in 1970s, end of the door guard. So in that time, previously we used to put security person and at the main door of the library. Western people, 1970s, they stopped the door security, even internal security of the library. 1980s, OCLC, online catalog terminal, has used in different. So people started using or searching OCLC through character user interface computer. It was a DOS mode computer. 1980s, barcoding of books had started. In 1980s, card catalog end. 1980s, first online catalog started. So card catalog in, you can search through this interface, right? You can see here in the screen, title keyword, exact title, author keyword, author browse. So you just go with your cursor and you can come up and you can search books is available in the library or not. Again in 1980s, for the last of 1980s, the remote access to online catalog has started. So that's the important aspect. It's a bigger transition. Searching one catalog from your own library is not so much complicated if you have a computer. But when you are thinking of searching databases from other library, it's a concern. It's a need lot of hard work. So that time in 80s, people has finished up with that concept, and they started remote access of online catalog. In 1990s, we have watched that there is a year of networking, data, bibliographic data exchange, e-journal. Slightly they have started. Specifically, the accessibility was restricted to the developed country. So it is an era of networking, 1990s, because in India that time there are many bibliographical data networking system, library data networking system like Delhi Library Network, Calcutta Library Network, Pune Library Network, Mumbai Library Network, Ahmedabad Library Network. So wherever the library will be, they are connected with the all libraries, connected with the data of the all libraries on that period. So that from that time, there are many. Today's Delnet is the initiation was done in 1990s, and they have they reached in a high. Now in 2000 onwards, we are in the era of online resources of information. You have e-journal, e-book, databases, newspaper, institutional repository. These are the started in 2000, and we are almost in the era right now. So now important is, it is not the connectivity, it is the content is matter. How rich your content is, how rich your database is, how rich your lecture is, how rich your PPT is. That is important. So this is the era in quality, in teaching quality, in education quality, in the e-content. So this is important because content is king. If you do not have a better content in your writing, in your lecture, in your presentation, that cannot goes for a long time. So everywhere you need to have a little hard work for creating better ambience. Now, we have already overviewed in the library housekeeping operation. Acquisition, order, accessing, payment. Catalog. In cataloging, we catalog, we input the data, we import and export sometimes. Suppose data is available on the internet, we imported it, and sometimes we exported it. Then we put it into the user service. We can go through the bibliographical service. We can go for the SDI, selective dissemination of service. We can go with the current awareness service. Then we can create a report on that. In circulation, we can start with the membership. Then with transaction, we can go for the loan. We can go for the return of the books. Check in, check out. Check out is loan. Check in is return of the books. Interlibrary loan. Suppose you are within a two different library, you can create interlibrary loan facility for better usage of your resources. Then maintenance. These are the component in the library housekeeping operations. Now, important is theoretically it is simple, and if we do it in practical, it is more simple. It is not so much of complicated because you have an aid with you, so we can explore one by one. Now, in serial control, important aspect is the suggestion. When suggestion come, then we go for the subscription. When we subscribe something, then we have to pay the amount. That's why we come with the payment system. Then check-in. We can check in with that item. We take it into the library. Then commercial binding. At the end of the year, that's one of the recurring job that you have to have bind the journal. Why it is important? Because every journal at the end of the year become a volume. When it's volume, suppose a journal started publishing biannual or quarterly. So if it is quarterly, so it's come 4, or monthly. If it is monthly, then it's come 12. At the end of the year, it will become 12. Then it create one volume. When it's become one volume, then we need to bind that volume. That's a compulsory. So unless it will be scattered, it will go here and there. In binding, you can go for the commercial binding, or some library has the in-house binding system. Then coming to the OPAC. OPAC is nothing, online public access catalog. Previously, we used to search the book with the aid of the normal cataloging, the manual cataloging. But OPAC, when computer came, then OPAC start. And OPAC, we normally search the book and we can reserve the book. We can see who has taken the book. So there are many information. You can see the bibliographical availability. These are the facilities can be given. Now, today's date, we are moving in a different era. We are in a web OPAC concept. Now in acquisition, normally, we have to select the book. We have to order the book list. But before selecting, some of the important procedure we need to follow. How we are going to follow? Because any of the institutions, important is democratizations. That I am not the sole authority who are taking the decision for purchasing one particular book. No, I have with a committee with me. They will recommend that we are going to select or not. If they are recommending, then we are going to select it. Once we'll select it, we'll go for the order. When we are ordering it, we'll see the publisher catalog, what is the price, and we'll sit with the publishers, what the discount you're going to give us. Then we'll give them order. But in the order, we'll give a particular date for receiving that particular order. So on that date, if they are giving, that time we will receive it. If they're not giving, then we'll go for the reminder. Once they will send us, we'll receive it. We'll receive to that duplicate or duplicate bills. Bills is important because we have to pay. Bills means invoice. Then when invoice will come, we'll put a number on the invoice. We'll put accession number on the book as well as the invoice. Because if the book is lost, then we can find the actual price of the book from that particular invoice. So every invoice in the library are arranged according to their accession number. That's the magic. So as the accession register is flow on, so you are arranging this in the same sequence, the invoice. So you can immediately retrieve the invoice with the accession number. Then in processing, classifying. In classifying, we are using many technologies today's date. I will show you one day. We have a window, Dewey Decimal classification for window, how we are going to classify a document through DDC. Then cataloging, we have a MARC format, Unimark format, CCF format. And probably today's date, when we are thinking of automations, majority of the library has a majority of the library automation software has the features of MARC 21. Then we'll come to the label. Label is important because we have to make a kind of ownership thing. Spine label, ownership slip, date slip, book pocket, book card, book barcode label, EM tag, RFID sticker, NFC sticker. Then we'll sell it. So some of the times, these are the required for the manual. Sometimes you may keep along with the concept in the automation also. Now circulations. In circulation, we'll use barcode, EM tag, RFID, NFC, or these are the normally circulation process. Or in manual system, we can use a kind of Brownie charging system or Newark charging system we can follow. But when you're talking about the library automation, then these are the technology which are very much helpful for the automations. Now in serial control, we normally select the title either through by somebody wish it, then they send to the library. Then we take that particular recommendation and we go through the same process I usually do in the library book selection process. Then through local vendor subscription agent, we usually process this one. Through foreign vendor subscription agent or direct from the publisher as a gift or complimentary from any organization. Some of the organizations, suppose somebody initiates some of the journal, they usually gift to the library for a certain period of time, or through membership we can take. In exchange, we can also, suppose we are subscribing one journal, and on the behalf they are subscribing something from us. So in that case, we can get through exchange also in serial control. Now fundamental task of any serial control system is selection of the serial, selection of the subscription mode, formulation of term of procurement, selection of vendors, placing supply order. That means you are giving order later, making advance payment. Sometimes you need to pay advance, otherwise sometimes they never agreed. So they ask for the advance payment. Then receiving and registration of the serial issue in a cardiac system, sending reminder for the issue not to receive. Suppose you have not issued it, then you are sending reminder to the vendor or the publishers or the agencies, making adjustment in advance payment for missing issues, preparation of list of subscribed journal, new arrivals, and serial holding for the consultation by the user. Then at the last end of the time, we'll go for the binding. And binding can be commercial or in-house. It's depend upon the library to library. Then maintenance. Self-rectification is important because often you will find the books are being misplaced. So you need to have a proper shelving. So you have to have watch repeatedly in every location of the book, and you have to relocate. You have to rectify that location. So misplaced book we have to put into their own place. Then bind, preserving library resources for the it's a posterior and the present, but important aspect is the preserving library resources is one of the finest job of the library, because library is a place for the future, present and past, present and future. The material you are procuring today, probably you are procuring for the tomorrow. So any resources in the library may be helpful for the generation to come. So you have to keep in a proper way. Then replacing. Sometimes you will find when at the end of the stock verifications, some of the books being lost somehow. So we have to replace all those books. Then discard, withdrawn. Weeding out outdated, torn, and unserviceable document from the library. Sometimes you will find some of the books are not up to the mark for using. The pages are not in a proper. It is going torn. So in that case, we have to have some kind of facilities to weed it out. Take out from the book stack room, or weeding out. Some of the books you will find that not issuing from last 20 years, 10 years, or 5 years. You can frame up a kind of measurement that if the book is not issuing or not using from last 5 years, we can go for the withdrawn, weed out, or 10 years. It is depend upon the library to library. Now, if you look at the access of information timeline, it is in University of Tennessee, and Dr. Bharat Mehra, my friend, is there as an associate of professor. We have often meet with that man, very nice gentleman, full of innovation. Yeah, here probably from that university they have School of Information Studies they have created. Now, in 1980s, you will see more people are on library automation, online library. 1990s, electronics library. In 2000, I have already told you that it's an era of digital repository, open access. It's more into e-journal, right? So cost, open access, new journals, pricing, individual subscription. These are the concept, right? So it is a phase, 80s, 90s, and 2000. We are in the 2000 phase probably. Now, if you look at the different timeline from 1876 to 1997, you can understand how things has changed. In 1876, Carter Rules for Printed Dictionary Catalog, first edition. 1904, Carter Rules for Dictionary Catalog, 4th AD. 1908, cataloging rules has came up, Anglo-American Catalog Rules. 1941, preliminary second edition of the ALA of 1908 rules. 1941, A.D. Osborne, The Crisis in Cataloging, has written a book. 1942, ALA Rules for Filing Catalog Card. 1948, Rules for Descriptive Cataloging in the Library of Congress. 1949, ALA Cataloging Rules for Author and Title Entries. 1953, Seymour Lubetki Cataloging Rules and Principles, a critique of the ALA Rules. 1956, Filing Rules for the Dictionary Catalog in Library of Congress. 1962-61, International Conference on Cataloging Principles, Paris. 1965, Draft of Machine-Readable Catalog, formed. 1967, Anglo-American Catalog Rules. 1968, Mark II format. You can understand the machine has started working on that. 1969, International Meeting on Cataloging Expert, Copenhagen. 1971, International Standard Bibliographical Description, ISBD has initiated. 1974, first meeting of Joint Steering Committee for revision of AARC CR. 1978, Anglo-American Catalog Rules. 1980s, Library of Congress Filing Rules. 1988, Anglo-American Cataloging Rules, second edition revised. 1997, International Conference on Principles of Future of ACRT, Toronto. 1998, ACR2, CD-ROM under constant revision of the Joint Steering Committee. So these are the development in library cataloging. We have started with the manual. He came up with the CD-ROM concept. If you look at the 40 years of technology in libraries, 1963, 1970, this is the IFLA, they have given this idea. In 1960, the committee heard automation report from variety of countries, Canada, Germany, Sweden, UK, USA, and USSR. In 1963, it should be noted that library in 1963 did not yet have many of the automation options that are commonplace in 2003. So they are struggling for the automation on that period. 1964, IBM introduced 360 series, fast family computers that has been kept into the library. They have used it in the library. The committee of mechanization was formally founded in 1965 because they understand the usability of the computer. They formed a committee on mechanizations, on library housekeeping operations and other. The Helsinki, the Finland, capital of Finland, there was a IFLA meeting in 1965. So they have initiated that concept. 1970, the committee had become very active as automation interest in the community increased. So they required to put the computer into the library. In 1970s, there were data format and Mark has came, ISSN and possibly the world serial data system has started. They're thinking of that. They are going to organize structuring on that. 1971, significant conference of expert was held in Berlin to discuss mark format and data exchange. Collaboration with the other group working automation standard 1970s, UNISYST, FID, interest in common with the committees of IFLA began special relationship ISO, PCC 46. Automation in documentation started. 1970s. 1972, the Committee of Mechanization also began to work more closely with the Committee on Cataloging. So you can understand, whole world is fighting, whole library profession of the world is fighting for the automations on that period. Recognition and section of information technology, late 70s. In the late 70s, IFLA had a major organizations and adopt new status of rules, procedure under the old statute. Only type of library group could be IFLA section. Thus, the Committee of Mechanizations became the section on mechanizations, and 1979, the section of information technology. The name it has today. They started working. 1975, continued their work. Presentation programming was interrupted by the recognitions. Networking became focus in 1980s. So library are going to connect together. The concept of the universal, they started thinking of universal data flow through telecommunications. CD-ROM was investigated as a carrier of resource and for the library catalog. So previously they used to exchange the library catalog through the CD-ROM. Networking is a broader sense became the interest in the late 80s. Open system interaction protocol, other protocols for linking dissimilar computer systems were examined by the section through seminar. The public catalog also continued to be a concern. That time they started thinking on OPAC. The graphical user interface, previously they was using the character user interface. You can understand what is character user interface when you were using the EasyNote mobile phone. We normally see the character on that, but today's, when it's talk about the smartphone, it is all about the graphical interface. Same times, we used computer, we started using computer with the character user interface. Today's we have, that time we used to work on DOS, disk operating system, or after that we find Unix, but it was also become also character user interface. Later on, the whole DOS has converted into the window, which is graphical user interface. And the Unix has turned in Linux, graphical user interface. That's why the OPAC has get some advantages. 1990s, the internet became the defining technology. So networking became very easy. 1994, 95, 96, they got lots of inputs. The section also sponsored workshop, and they started thinking of protocol of Z39.50, an emailing system. 1993, the section had held another conference, a multiple script of language, because once it's a concept of library catalog, library database, then you need to have a multilingual facilities on that. Unicode as came. The section also supported new discussion group, metadata, Unicode, digital libraries. So whatever we were watching today, it was the research and constant development, constant work of some of the people in this art who did it. Today we are getting the facilities of those. The analog library has immediate gone to analog to digital in 1990s to date. In 1990, today's date, we started, 1990, we have initiated the concept of OPAC, then full text access of information resources. 2000 onwards, ePrint archives, digital library, RFID. And today's date, what we are thinking about, the to date consortia, the ebook, EMTag, RFID, NFC, Bluetooth applications, and more into content. So that's the journey of library automations. Some of the digital library concept, they were first started with the data exchange, bibliographical data exchange. But today's date, you will find we do not need more bibliographical data. We require exactly the full text. It was almost like a pager and the mobile phone. Pager was a technology which carry forward the information. They give text message to a person who is away from the telephone. But today's date, with the mobile phone, we immediately directly connect with that person. So when you have a facility to access the full text, we hardly required any bibliographical data of that, because we have a total content with us. The technology has changed. The procedural model of library housekeeping operation, what are the procedure and activities? Initiate, authorize, activate, record, report, cancel. These are the procedural activities in a library housekeeping operation. Analysis of task. What information is needed for the activity? Where is the information to be obtained? When is the required? Who require it? How is it used? Share and transferring data between the different system and media. Availability of distributed information system. That means internet. Increased capacity of the data storage and data transmission. That's become a buzzword today. You need to have the server concept has came with the bigger container. That means bigger terabyte kind of hard disk capacity. Decrease the cost and size of the equipment. Today's date, we are thinking how we can reduce the cost of the automation. Increase reliability of hardware and software to perform the repetitive job. That's a very important aspect.